Billy back here, and today I am sharing my top 10 MCU heroes after seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. Now, I will not be giving away spoilers as far as the plot goes for Deadpool and Wolverine, but I will mention the characters a bit. So that's where I'm at. Okay, to start out, honorable mentions Falcon slash Sam. I really enjoyed Falcon and the Winter Soldier TV show on Disney Plus there. There will be a new Captain America movie, Brave New World, in 2025. So this list may change, but I really like what Sam stands for. And now that Captain America is gone, I'm interested to see where they go with this new Captain America, where Sam is no longer in the shadow of Captain America. So that should be really interesting. I'm updating my list as we speak. That is, there's some characters that I actually should have put in the top, but I didn't. My next honorable mention is Hulk. He just gets such inconsistent um, storybooking that it's hard for me to get behind him as much. Mark Ruffalo is a great, great actor, but it's hard for me to actually get behind him because of the inconsistencies. In Thor Ragnarok, I thought he was really well done, and in the Avengers film, I thought they did a great job with Hulk, but he goes in honorable mentions because I want him to be my top 10, but I can't justify it with all the great characters we have. Next honorable mention is Shang-Chi. I really enjoyed this film, a lot of fun. The addition of Aquafina to the MCU as well. I liked the play with those two characters. Shang-Chi is a character that has a lot of potential, but we've only had one film with him thus far, and we've spent more time with other characters. And I think his character has a lot of potential, but I need more to see more from him before I can justify placing him in my top 10. Next is Thor, and this is a character who I had in my top 10 before I remembered some other characters. But Thor in Ragnarok, they revitalized the character, and I thought that him and Loki, their brother relationship, was great throughout the MCU. However, with Thor Love and Thunder, I don't blame the character or the actor. It's just when they have the serious moments, they don't let them breathe and let you take them in. They have to have the screaming goats in order to take away from it. So I just can't put Thor in my top 10 because of, once again, inconsistent outings for him. And once again, I like Chris Hemsworth in this role, but he just does not go into the top 10 at this point because of that. Now we get into my top 10. Number 10, Ms. Marvel. And yes, I have not seen the show, so I need to go sit down and watch that. I'm planning on getting Disney Plus back again soon because of there were too many projects, and I just felt what my friend called superhero fatigue. I was getting that as well. So with 2024 only having one official MCU film with Deadpool and Wolverine, I no longer feel burnout, and I'm revitalized and want to go back and catch up on things. There was just so much coming out at once, and I was watching other shows like Wednesday, and I just felt like there were too many shows and too many projects in order if it was going to be a full-time job, and I did not want that with watching superhero films. So Ms. Marvel gets number 10 because she's so infectious in the Marvels. Her energy, her positivity, her fangirling over meeting people, it was just so contagious, and I look forward to seeing what they do with her in the future, as well as some other people that I didn't mention, such as America Chavez, but she's not in the top 10 because, once again, we need more time with her. But Ms. Marvel gets number 10, even though I've only seen her in one film, I just felt like there was something magical with that character there. Number 9 is Gamora. Gamora has an interesting story being the adoptive daughter of Thanos and what happened to her world. And the more we learn about her character, the more I like her. And I really enjoyed her throughout the series. When they killed her off in Infinity War, I was really sad. That scene was personally hard for me to watch, but it made me realize how much I loved the character. So Gamora gets number 9 just because of her story is so well done, and Zoe Saldana is a national treasure. Number 8 is Black Panther, and even though we got little time with Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, he had such a huge he left such a huge mark on the MCU, and he did such a great job. And one thing about Black Panther I liked was that he actually learns from his rival. So he actually Killmonger teaches him things, challenges his views, and realizes they need to do better. So I do like that Black Panther has some complexity to him. It was a hit film that no one saw coming, and I need to sit down and actually rewatch it because I remember seeing that and thinking, wow, they took Africa and they gave it technology, and it made me think that would be a perfect place to hide technology in plain sight because no one would suspect that Africa, of all places, would have technology and all this going on. So I really enjoyed his character. Number 7, Captain America. Now, I like the first Captain America, the first Avenger, because he's very old school in what we used to stand for and the good values. I do enjoy his character. Once again, Civil War, the fans were divided, of course, about what side to take. So I can't put him any higher because there were some disagreements I had with where his character went and what his views were. But I do enjoy him as a character, and I felt like since he was the most selfless at the beginning, he deserved the ending he got with Peggy being able to be with her. So I feel like they did a great job with this character. In number 6, Rocket Raccoon. It is hinted from the first Guardians. He talks about being ripped apart and put back together several times. So we knew he was going to have a sad backstory. And the whole time, he's covering up his pain with jokes. We're waiting and waiting to see what the full backstory was. And they did such a great job in Guardians 3 of giving us the answers of what happened to him. And it's just a heartbreaking story. And then him almost dying. They did such a great job with Rocket Raccoon throughout the MCU that you grow to care for this character really well and on a high level. And he just is such a great character throughout the films, and I like his, I need that leg. Like he has humor, but there's also a lot of heart to his story. Now we get into the top 5. Like, comment, and subscribe to get the ultimate broship experience, and let me know your top 10 MCU heroes. These are my top 10. I would like to see yours in the comments, and I'm sure it's going to vary greatly. Number 5 is Doctor Strange, and the reason he's number 5 is yes, he starts out cocky and he still keeps that humor throughout the MCU, but then he is the one that sees the one way they can defeat Thanos, and whenever he vanishes, it was shocking, but then it also left it for the remaining survivors to figure out what to do to win ultimately in game. And so Doctor Strange's character is such a key to a lot of storylines. And even with the latest film, some divisiveness amongst the fans, I still enjoy his character a lot. Could the film have been better? Yes. But did he do a good job playing his character? Also, yes. So despite him having sometimes weird things going on, Benedict does a great job of playing the character, and I love the demeanor of him overall. And he does care more than what he lets on. So Doctor Strange gets number 5. Number 4 is Deadpool, and I know, shocking, he's not number 1, but the reason I put Deadpool at number 4, he does break the fourth wall, and he's funny as hell. And there is I just rewatched the first Deadpool. There's a lot of emotional things that happen to him being tortured and such, but he does cover his pain with humor, and I want to see more of we saw more of a character arc in Deadpool and Wolverine. We got to see him have some of those emotional beats, but I just don't connect to him as much as the top 3. He is the funniest though, in my opinion, in the MCU, and a really fun character, but I do not connect to him on a personal level like I do some of these other characters. And his films were great. The projects were not supposed to work. The first film was a long time in the making, and though not officially MCU adjacent, and once again, the story is incredible that they hesitated. They finally greenlit it, but still limited to the budget. And the first Deadpool film is really emotional and great. The second one's funnier, and the third one is just great. If you have not seen Deadpool and Wolverine, go see it. What are you waiting for? I've seen it twice, and it is probably well, so far it's the best film of the year between that and Twisters, but it's a very good film, and you need to see it. So Deadpool gets number 4, and I like that they pay off some of his self doubts, and they focus on that more in Deadpool and Wolverine. So that was a good film. In third place is Iron Man. Now he used to be number 1 for me, but because he's gone, he went from the most selfish to the most selfless character, and making that ultimate sacrifice in order to save everyone else was incredible. I really enjoyed his story arc, and he is the heart of Marvel. So I put him in number 3 simply because he is gone now, but he had such a great impact and forever changed superhero films. And if you go back, which I did recently, and watch the first Iron Man, it is such a great film, and it plants the seeds and sets up the entire MCU. 34 films in now, and he's still, it's hard to replace him and his energy, which he's been cast as Doctor Doom. But Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. It may just be a film series, but he really is Iron Man. I do believe under that suit, he's still Iron Man. His films, although there were some rush things, Iron Man 2, let's be honest, not a high point for the MCU, but 4, as quick of a turnaround as they had, still an enjoyable film. Iron Man 3, now that they found Shang-Chi to fix the Mandarin, I need to rewatch the series, like the whole MCU, and re-rank the films and give them a second look, because Iron Man 3 is now better because of Shang-Chi. So Iron Man gets number 3, and he does care more than he lets on, and I like that he was the one that made the sacrifice. In second place, Spider-Man, Tom Holland. I was a Spider-Man kid, and he should be number 1, but because of some recent additions to the MCU, I cannot make him number 1. He is second to me. I grew up with him as a kid, and the funniest story and the coolest story is when I lived with my great grandparents in high school, my grandma one day said, "Hey, Billy, I saved some stuff for you out of the paper. They've been coming once a week. I don't know if you'd be interested, but I saved them." So she saved the reprint of the Spider-Man comics, and it had the stories of Lizard. It introduced the Fantastic Four, where he meets Human Torch and they fight, and then they both learn that they're not neither one are villains. I really loved reading those, to the point to where I actually went out as Christmas one year. I got a Barnes and Noble gift card, and I got a book that contains the first 50 Spider-Man comics, which I still need to sit down and read. But Spider-Man to me is just such a relatable, everyday hero, and his journey throughout the MCU has been great. His 3 films, Homecoming with his mentor being Iron Man, was incredible. Uh, No Way Home was awesome. Far From Home was also really good as well. And I may get the order mixed up on the titles. But the first one was amazing. The second one was fun, could have been better, but I enjoy it. And then the third one, No Way Home, I believe, that was the best one, with losing Aunt May and connecting with these other two. And then the heartbreak of him and MJ not remembering and Ned not remembering. Just I'm curious to see where they go, and he comes across as one of the best characters in the MCU, and I look forward to us continuing Tom Holland's journey as Spider-Man in the MCU. But he's a great character in my former number 1. So Iron Man and Spider-Man have both been in my top spot, and I will try to do this once a year to adjust. Okay, in first place, Wolverine. After seeing Deadpool and Wolverine, I was reminded of the film. I was reminded of what Hugh Jackman as Wolverine means to me. I've always been a big X-Men fan, and I cannot wait to see more of them brought to the MCU. But Wolverine is that hesitant superhero, right? He has a lot of anger, a lot of regrets, a lot of things he's done wrong, and that's very relatable, that we make mistakes and we learn from them. But to me, Deadpool and Wolverine does not work without Hugh Jackman. You have Deadpool cracking all the jokes. You have Wolverine trying to cover his pain with alcohol. And this version of Wolverine has that pain. But then when you see what he's dealt with, it's incredible. It's just incredible how much I can relate to this guy. Wolverine has a lot of pain, a lot of regrets, but at the end of the day, he is a hero. It's just he has to really go through stuff in order to bring that out of him. And he's very reluctant. And he drinks to drown out the voices and to try to cover up the pain. He needs reminding who he is and what he is to everybody. And the fact that Logan was not technical MCU, its own film, but it was such a emotional film. And Deadpool and Wolverine, his journey in that, and like I said, you need to see that before I talk more about it. But I just love that character, and yeah, as I'm watching the film, I was just like, this is the ultimate hero. Wolverine is the ultimate hero, and hard for me to talk about him at times because he does go on such an emotional journey. And having said that, I would love to see the future, what they do with X-23 and the X-Men. I feel like X-23 could be a key character in the future of the MCU. And yeah, Wolverine, I just love the character. And I look forward to the future of the MCU because of Deadpool and Wolverine. I now am re-energized by it, and I look forward to seeing Deadpool and Wolverine. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your top 10 MCU heroes. There were other characters I did not even bring up, like Black Widow, the new Black Widow. Those were really well done characters. Groot, I enjoy as a character, but those characters I cannot justify making the top 10. And eventually, once I've watched more, I may do a top 20 because Loki's also up there pretty high for me as kind of a gray area character because now I'm considering him more of a hero, but it takes him a while to get there. And like I said, there's so many characters in the MCU now, it's hard to remember everybody or to place them. If I were to rank them all, that would be tough. I may eventually do a tier list of all the MCU heroes throughout the MCU series and just like give them A, B, C, D, F tiers. But there's so many characters, guys. And like I said, those are my top 10. And to remind again, Wolverine was 1, Spider-Man 2, Iron Man 3, Deadpool 4, Doctor Strange 5, Rocket Raccoon 6, Captain America 7, Black Panther 8, Gamora 9th, and Ms. Marvel 10, with honorable mentions Thor, Shang-Chi, Hulk, and Falcon / Sam. But Sam may go up in that list. I'm going to be catching up on the Disney Plus series, and I still need to see Eternals and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Those are the only 2 MCU films I have not seen. I do have a copy of the Eternals here. I still need to purchase Black Widow, which I love that movie, but I need to buy it, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania in order for my MCU collection to be complete when it comes to the films, and then I will be going back and getting the old films on DVD because I do have some on VHS, but the Blade series, the Punisher films, Elektra, I need to go back and get all of them just so I can say I have the Marvel movies. That's all I have for today, guys. I hope you enjoy this video, and I will be speaking more about movies and pop culture things. Catch my review for the book and the Netflix limited series, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, that will be coming to the channel soon. And I look forward to talking to you guys very shortly.